صباح الخير جميعا. أهلا بكم في التدريب الصيفي للبنك التجاري الدولي لشهر 8 لطلاب سنة ثالثة. في البداية كده حابة أعرفكم بنفسي. أنا نانسي واصف من إدارة التدريب والتطوير بالبنك التجاري الدولي. حابة أهنيكم على قبولكم في التدريب، لأن هو فرصة مهمة وكبيرة إن أنتوا تكونوا بتتعرفوا أكتر على البنوك إزاي بتشتغل، وكمان تكسبوا خبرات عملية، مش بس تكونوا بتسمعوا من بعيد عن البنوك، بس تشوفوها كده بشكل براكتيكال أكتر. في البداية حابة كده أكون بوالك يو ثرو إيه اللي هيكون بيحصل في التدريب. خليني بس أشير سكرين معاكم. طيب، زي ما احنا شايفين النهارده وبكره اللي هو يوم 2 و 3 أغسطس ده هنكون بنشوف فيه مع بعض محاضرات عن طريق تطبيق زوم زي ما احنا موجودين كده. المحاضرات دي هتكون بتخلينا نشوف موضوعات اكتر ونتعرض لموضوعات اكتر، زي ما كنت بقول في الاول بنسمع لها او بنسمع عنها، بس المره دي هنكون بنشوفها اكتر وبنشوفها بفيديوز متقدمه من منصات عالميه، وفيديوز هتكون بتساعدنا اكتر ان احنا نكون بنفهم اكتر المصطلحات كتيره قوي بنسمعها. طيب، بعد يوم 2 و 3 هيكون عندنا امتحان يوم 4 أغسطس. الامتحان سهل وبسيط، مش عايزاكم تقلقوا خالص. اهم حاجه بس ان انتوا تكونوا موجودين في الزوم النهارده او بكره، وكمان تكونوا بتاخدوا نوتس علشان تقدروا تكونوا بترجعوا لها بسهوله قبل الامتحان. وان شاء الله الامتحان بالنسبه لكم هيكون لذيذ. الامتحان كمان MCQ، فمفيش داعي للقلق، الامتحان ان شاء الله بسيط خالص. وبعديها هتكونوا بناء على حضوركم في الزوم، وكمان بناء على درجاتكم في الامتحان، ده هيكون بيأهلكم ل 2 تراكس. اما ان انتوا هتكونوا بتدخلوا فيزيكال، او ان انتوا هتكونوا بتنزلوا برانشز او ديبارتمنتس، او يا اما انتوا هتكونوا بتتحولوا على الاونلاين تراك. ده بناء على الافيلابيلتي، وكمان الفيزيكال تريننج ده بيكون ليميتد سيتس، فده هيكون بناء زي ما كنت بقول على الافيلابيلتي، وكمان حضورك اليومين الزوم، وكمان درجتك في الامتحان. وبالنسبه الاونلاين تراك ده انتوا برضو هتكونوا بتكملوا تشوفوا فيه فيديوز، هتكونوا بتتعرضوا لموضوعات تانية بشكل عميق اكتر، وكمان الفيديوز دي متقدمه من منصات عالميه واكتر من 14 شريك دولي. والتو تراكس سواء الفيزيكال او سواء كمان الاونلاين، الاثنين بيطلع لهم سيرتيفيكت في الاخر. طيب، بعد ما تكونوا بتخلصوا الزوم وبعدها الامتحان وبعدها سواء الاونلاين او الفيزيكال تراك، انتوا هتكونوا بتروحوا على حاجه اسمها البوت كامب. ده انا مش هقول تفاصيله قوي دلوقتي، بس عشان ما اكونش اوفرويلم. كل التفاصيل ان شاء الله هتكون بتتبعت لكم على الميل، وحتى كمان تفاصيل الامتحان، الساعه واللينك وكل حاجه برضو هتكون بتتبعت لكم على الميل. فخليكم اليرت، تابعوا الميل بتاعكم عشان منين ما يتبعت لكم حاجه تكونوا قادرين ان انتوا تكونوا بتتابعوها. وبعد ما تخلصوا ان شاء الله التدريب كله هيكون بيطلع لكم سيرتيفيكت، ودي كانها دليل ان انتوا حضرتوا التريننج كله. طيب، انا مش حابه اكون بطول عليكم. خلينا نبدا كده مع بعض نشوف اول فيديو سوا. واول فيديو معانا النهارده هيكون بيتكلم وبيفهمنا اكتر عن دور البنوك، وكمان هنشوف مع بعض مصطلحات كتير بنتعرض لها، زي مثلا يعني ايه انه البنك عباره عن وسيط مالي، وكمان مصطلح زي مصطلح الفايده هنكون بنشوف سوا ايه هي اصلا الفايده. وهنكون بنشوف كمان ازاي مهم انه البنك يكون بيبني علاقه ثقه مع عملائه علشان يكون جدير ان هم يكونوا بيستثمروا اموالهم فيه. خلينا نشوف سوا.
Hi, my name is Payal, and I am from the Management Study Guides content team. Welcome to the course Basics of Banking. Mark Andrews works as a software engineer in a leading software company and draws a salary of $10,000 per month. He recently opened a personal account at the National Bank near his home for operational convenience. He started depositing a part of his salary in the newly opened personal account. The bank pays him interest at 5% per annum for the deposits made. A few months back, he started a recurring deposit and contributes $500 every month, which can be withdrawn after 1 year along with the interest at 10%. He also deposited $25,000 in a fixed deposit scheme for which the bank will pay him a cumulative interest of 8% per annum. Mark recently borrowed $1 million as a housing loan from the National Bank, for which the bank charges him 18% interest. Mark agrees to transfer the amount every month through net banking. If you look at the activities of Mark, it is evident that he has almost utilized all the basic services which a bank provides to its customers. All these banks pay interest to its customers for the deposits made, which is an expenditure to the bank, and on the other hand, by charging higher interest for the loans, the banks earn profit. Let us now learn basics of banking in detail. These are the objectives we will be covering during this course. Introduction to banking, banking regulation, bank-customer relationship, types of customers and their accounts, deposit accounts, negotiable instruments and related matters, loans and advances, fee-based banking services, electronic banking, marketing of bank products, know your customer (KYC). So let's begin basics of banking. Our first objective to cover in this course is Introduction to Banking. What is the meaning of bank or banking? The word bank means an organization where people and business can invest or borrow money, change it to foreign currency, etc. Gerald Klein of University of London explains, bank as a body, corporate or not, that has been recognized by the Bank of England under the Banking Act 1987 to accept deposits as defined by that act. In UK, there is no statutory definition of a bank or a banker. Who cannot be a banker? A person or corporate body cannot be a banker if they do not take deposit accounts, take current accounts, issue and pay checks, collect checks for customers. Here are the basic principles of banking. Number 1, principle of intermediation. Number 2, principle of liquidity. Number 3, principle of profitability. Number 4, principle of solvency. Number 5, principle of trust. Let's take a look at each of these principles in detail. Number 1 is principle of intermediation. Banks are called financial intermediaries because they invest or lend funds of depositors who themselves are unable to lend their funds due to risk and other factors involved in direct lending. Banks assume the credit risk involved in direct lending to those who need funds. They have the expertise and abilities to manage such risks. Number 2 is principle of liquidity. As per this principle, a bank must keep a certain portion of its deposit liabilities in liquid form so as to be able to repay the same on demand or maturity dates to the depositors. The acceptance of deposits and lending these funds to borrowers in a manner such that the bank would be able to arrange for the funds demanded by its depositors at any point of time. It is called liquidity management or asset liability management. Number 3, principle of profitability. Interest income, which represents the interest differential between its loans and deposits rates, is the main source of profit for a bank. Interest income, along with the non-interest or fee-based income, contributes to the bulk of a bank's profits. Principle of solvency. Solvency connotes long-term financial soundness of a bank, achieved by adherence to prudent policies in lending, retention of some part of profits for business growth, implementation of professional management systems, and following the mandatory rules and procedures in day-to-day operations. Number 5, principle of trust. The trust that customers, existing and potential, repose in a bank is its hallmark as it connotes dependability in the opinion of its customers. Trustworthiness is a function of a bank's good track record over a fairly long period of time. In terms of liquidity, profitability, financial soundness, and its record of meeting its commitments to all concerned parties. Functions of banks. Functions of a bank can be classified as traditional or core functions. These are performed by almost every bank, irrespective of its size, ownership pattern, and operational area. Modern functions. These are mostly performed by large-sized or modern banks situated in commercial centers or metros. Traditional functions of banks are accepting deposits, lending, funds remittance, miscellaneous services. Let's take a look at each of these in detail. Accepting deposits. A bank accepts money from its customers and keeps the funds in non-interest bearing accounts or interest bearing accounts as per the choice of the customer while opening the account. Deposits constitute the largest portion of a bank's funds apart from its own capital. Deposits are repayable on demand or on specific maturity dates. Lending. Funds mobilized through deposits are deployed by a bank in making loans and advances to earn profits by way of interest spreads. Lending requires adequate care, caution, and supervision by the bank's management at various levels. Funds remittance. Banks remit customers' funds from one place to another in the same country or overseas through their branches and correspondent banks by mail or electronic funds transfer or by issuing bank drafts for which a small commission is charged from the remitting person. Miscellaneous services. These miscellaneous services include issue of credit or debit cards, safe deposit lockers, safe custody of valuables, issuance of travelers' checks, letter of credit and guarantees, collection of outstation checks and bills, furnishing opinion reports on their customers, acting as agency services for government business, correspondence, trusteeship and executors business. Modern banking functions. Modern banking is about providing an array of services to customers under one roof so as to enable banking with convenience. The modern commercial banking function mainly comprises of activities such as cross-border banking, merchant banking, credit cards, factoring, leasing, and insurance and other financial services undertaken by the banks. Cross-border fundraising services. Cross-border banking is classified as follows: external commercial borrowing (ECB), global depository receipts or international depository receipts, non-resident external or foreign currency non-resident accounts, syndication of foreign currency loans. Cross-border banking services include import, financing or leasing, export, functioning or forfeiting or leasing. Let's take a look at merchant banking. Merchant banking refers to dealing with the securities on fee basis without outlay of funds to the clients. Merchant banking involves disintermediation as it helps savers to invest directly in the shares of companies instead of depositing their savings with banks. Merchant banking provides lucrative fee-based business for modern banks, but is done mainly by specialized subsidiaries of banks. Here are some of the emerging trends in the banking sector. They are universal banking, electronic banking, globalization of banking. Here's a question for you. Which one of the following is a cross-border activity of a bank? Is it miscellaneous services, modern banking, traditional banking, external commercial? Let's move on to our next objective in the course, banking regulation. In the UK, where banking has not been defined under any statute book, the banking system is regulated by the Bank of England in terms of an enactment. Similarly, the Federal Reserve Board regulates the banking system in the Federation of States of USA. The rationale of regulation of financial or banking system is to generate, maintain, promote confidence and trust of the public in the financial banking system, to protect investors' interests through adequate or timely disclosure by the institutions and access to revenue information by the investors, to ensure that the financial markets are both fair and efficient, to ensure that the participants measure up to the rules of the marketplace. Following are the essential functions of the central bank of a country: issuing notes, government's banker, banker's bank, bank's supervision, development of financial system, exchange control, monetary policy. The following are considered as the tools of monetary control. Number 1, CRR, which is cash reserve ratio. Number 2, statutory liquidity ratio, SLR. Number 3, bank rate. Number 4, open market operations, also known as OMO. Number 5, selective credit control, or SEC. Let's take a look at each of these tools in detail. Number 1 is cash reserve ratio, or CRR. This refers to the cash that all banks are required to maintain with the central bank as a certain percentage of their demand and time liabilities. In order to meet the liabilities in time, a bank has to keep the regulatory cash reserve with the central bank. SLR, or statutory liquidity ratio, is maintained by all banks in the form of cash in hand. Increase in SLR results in the reduction of the lending capacity of banks by preempting certain portion of their demand and time liabilities or other approved securities. Bank rate. Bank rate is the standard rate at which the central bank is prepared to buy or rediscount bills of exchange or other eligible commercial papers from banks. It is the basic cost of rediscounting and refinance of facilities provided by the central bank. Open market operations, or OMO. This refers to the sale or the purchase of government securities by the central bank in the open market with a view to increase or decrease the liquidity in the banking system and thereby affecting the loanable funds with banks. The central bank issues SCC directives with an objective to prevent speculative holding of essential commodities, which results in a rise in their prices. The other tools of monetary control are credit rationing or allocation, credit authorization scheme, credit planning, inventory and credit norms. Let's take a look at our next objective, bank-customer relationship. Who is a customer? A customer is a person who has some sort of account, either deposit or current account, or some similar relation with a bank, and from this it follows that any person may become a customer by opening a deposit or current account or having some similar relation with a bank. Here are the features of bank-customer relationship. A customer is one who maintains some kind of deposit account with a bank, irrespective of the duration for which the account has been maintained. A customer of a bank may be a natural person or legal entity, example, a firm, company, a corporation, an association, etc. The state of the account, whether in debit or in credit, is immaterial for this relationship. A customer of one branch of a bank does not become a customer of another branch of the same bank where he does not maintain any bank account. The different forms of relationship between a bank and a customer are: Number 1, bank as debtor. The principal relationship of bank customer is that of debtor-creditor in case of deposit accounts like savings, current, fixed and recurring deposits. If the customer wants money, he or she has to make the demand to the bank to repay the money at a particular branch where the account is kept. Number 2, bank as creditor. The relationship between bank customer becomes that of creditor-debtor when customer has borrowed money from the bank by the way of overdraft, cash credit, demand loan, term loan, bills discount, or any other kind of loan or advance. The bank can demand money from the customer with the agreed interest from the customer according to the terms and conditions. Bank as trustee. This relationship arises when a customer deposits securities or other valuables with the bank for safe custody. The customer continues to be the owner of the securities and the bank is supposed to only deal with them as per the customer's instructions. Number 4 is bank as agent. The agent-principal relationship of bank-customer arises quite often when a bank collects checks or bills of exchange or other instruments on behalf of its customers or buys or sells securities on its behalf. It is acting as an agent of its customer. The bank has to act with reasonable diligence and skill, failing which, it may become liable to make good the loss caused by its negligence. Number 5 is bank as bailey. A bank acts as a bailey when it accepts a sealed box item for safe custody from a person. As a bailey, the bank is bound to take as much care of the goods bailed to it as a man of ordinary prudence would do under similar circumstances. The duties of a bank can be categorized in 2 categories: duty of secrecy, duty of reasonable care. Let's take a look at each of these in detail. duty of secrecy. The debtor-creditor relationship between a bank customer is of a special kind. It is a contractual relationship that has an implied obligation to keep the affairs of the account of customers secret and confidential. The duty of non-disclosure is contractual and legal. Though not absolute, it is yet qualified. A bank would be protected only if it discloses the affairs of the customers under certain legally permissible compulsions. Duty of reasonable care. It is the bank's duty of exercising reasonable care or diligence while discharging its duty as agent or bailee or a trustee of a customer. If a customer suffers loss due to improper care or negligence of the bank, he or she may claim specific damages from the bank for making good the loss. Further, a bank may also be held liable for wrongful dishonor of checks when there is sufficient balance in the customer's account. Rights of a bank. There are certain rights conferred on the banks. They are bank's lien, right to set off, right of appropriation of accounts, right to charge interest or commission. Termination of bank-customer relationship. There are two modes of termination which are listed below: voluntary termination, termination by law. Let us take a look at each of these in detail. Voluntary termination. The customer has a right to close his deposit account because of change of residence or dissatisfaction with the service of the bank or for any other reason, and the bank is bound to comply with this request. The bank can also close an account due to unsatisfactory conduct of the account or because it finds the customer undesirable for certain reasons. Termination by law. The relationship of a bank customer can also be terminated by the process of law due to the following reasons: death of a customer, bankruptcy of a customer or liquidation of a company, garnishee order, insanity of the customer. Let us now look at a real-life example to understand the customer-bank relationship. In the next few slides, you will see various types of customer-bank relationship present in each transaction. You need to go through these transactions and find out the type of relationship that exists in the transaction. Benjamin has deposited gold jewels worth $2 million in the safety locker facility available with his bank. He has also paid the annual maintenance fees to the bank regularly. Can you analyze what type of relationship exists between the bank and the customer in this transaction? Bank as trustee is the type of relationship involved here. This relationship arises when a customer deposits securities or other valuables with the bank for safe custody. The customer continues to be the owner of the securities, and the bank is supposed to only deal with them as per the customer's instructions. Alex is working as a designer in a leading studio and has been depositing regularly in the global bank. He has a total deposits of $50,000 and now he withdraws $20,000 using a self-withdrawal check. Can you find out what type of a relationship is present in this type of transaction? Bank as debtor is the type of relationship involved here. The principal relationship of bank customer is that of debtor-creditor. In case of deposit accounts like savings, current, fixed, and recurring deposits, if the customer wants money, he or she has to make the demand to the bank to repay the money at a particular branch where the account is kept. The Central Bank, California branch has received a sealed cover from its head office for one of its customers. The sealed cover consists of various important documents which the customer has to fill in and submit it to the head office. What type of a relationship exists between the branch and the customer in this transaction? Bank as bailee is the type of a relationship involved here. A bank acts as bailee when it accepts a sealed box item for safe custody from a person. As a bailee, the bank is bound to take as much care of the goods bailed to it as a man of ordinary prudence would do under similar circumstances. John Maxwell maintains a personal account at Helios Bank. John recently bought stocks worth $12,000 and he has instructed the bank to transfer the funds to the stockbroker. What type of relationship is involved in this kind of a transaction? Bank as agent is the type of relationship involved here. The agent-principal relationship of bank-customer arises quite often. When a bank collects checks or bills of exchange or other instruments on behalf of its customers, or buys or sells securities on its behalf, it is acting as an agent of its customer. The bank has to act with reasonable diligence and skill, failing which it may become liable to make good the loss caused by its negligence. Russell works as an analyst in a stockbroking firm. He had borrowed funds from his bank to start a business. He has agreed to repay the loan every month on equal installments for 10 years. What type of relationship exists between the customer bank in this transaction? Bank as creditor is the type of relationship involved here. The relationship between bank customer becomes that of creditor-debtor when customer has borrowed money from the bank by way of overdraft, cash credit, demand loan, term loan, bills discount, or any other kind of loan or advance. The bank can demand money from the customer with the agreed interest from the customer according to the terms and
لا
conditions.
مش شغالين والله.
Our next objective in the course is types of customers and their accounts. Opening of deposit accounts. Any person who is competent to contract can open a deposit account with a bank branch of his or her choice and convenience. For entering into a valid contract, a person needs to fulfill the basic requirements. The following are the different types of customers who can open an account with a bank: individuals, companies, trusts, clubs. Let's look at each of these in detail. Individuals. Accounts of individuals form a major chunk of the deposit accounts in the personal segment of most banks. Individuals who are eligible and with a sound mind can open a bank account. Companies. A company is a legal entity distinct from its shareholders or managers, as it can sue and be sued in its own name. It is a perpetual entity until dissolved. Its operations are governed by the provisions of the Companies Act existing in that country. Trusts. A trust is a relationship where a person holds property for the benefit of another person or some object in a way such that the real benefit of the property accrues to the beneficiary or the object of the trust. Clubs. Account of a proprietary club can be opened like an individual account. However, clubs that are collectively owned by several members and are not registered under any act are treated like an unregistered firm. Our next objective is deposit accounts. Let us now understand the importance of deposits for number 1, a bank, number 2, depositors, number 3, the economy. Let's take a look at each of these in detail. Number 1, for a bank. Deposit taking means accepting money or its equivalents for keeping in deposit accounts. It is the most important function of a commercial bank since it enables a bank to accumulate funds required for its other major function vis-a-vis lending to industry, trade, and commerce. Number 2 is depositors. For depositors, depositors keep their savings and business funds with commercial banks due to a host of advantages they receive from the banks. The main advantages for the customers, the depositors, are liquidity or easy withdrawals, safety of funds, earning interest on savings or term deposits, record keeping, quick and convenient transferability of funds. Number 3, for economy. Commercial banks mobilize a large portion of the savings of the community and deploy the same in loans and advances to the industry, trade, agriculture, infrastructure, services sector, and other bankable economic activities, thereby helping the economy to develop. This function of the bank is called financial intermediation. Banks thus play an important role in the economic growth of the country by channelizing the community's savings towards productive purposes. Deposits of banks are classified into 3 categories. Number 1, demand deposits. Number 2, term deposits. Number 3, hybrid deposits. Let's take a look at each of these deposits in detail. Demand deposits. Demand deposits that are repayable on the customer's demand. These comprise the following: current account deposits, savings bank deposits, call deposits. Term deposits. Term deposits that are repayable on maturity dates as agreed between the customers and the bank. These comprise the following: fixed deposits, recurring deposits. hybrid deposits or flexi deposits, which combine features of demand and term deposits. Lately, these deposits have been introduced by some banks to satisfy the customer's financial needs and convenience and are known by different names in different banks. Current accounts. Current accounts constitute a large portion of demand deposits of a bank. Current accounts can be opened by individuals, business entities, institutions, government bodies, departments, societies, trusts, etc. Savings bank accounts are meant for individuals and small businesses to keep their savings for meeting their future monetary needs. Banks give interest on these accounts with a view to encourage saving habits. Savings accounts can be opened by individuals, clubs, associations, trusts, etc. Fixed deposits are repayable on the maturity date along with the interest at an agreed rate for the period. No operations are allowed to be performed by the customer against the deposit as it is permitted in demand deposits. The depositor forgoes liquidity on the deposit. This gives freedom and opportunities to the bank to deploy such funds for loans or advances and earn interest. Recurring deposits. In recurring deposit accounts, certain amount of savings are required to be compulsorily deposited at specific intervals for a specific period. These are intended to inculcate regular and compulsory savings habit among the low or middle income group people for meeting their specific future needs. Here's a question for you. Which one of the following deposits are repayable on maturity dates? Is it hybrid? Moving on to our next objective, negotiable instruments and related matters. The common features of negotiable instruments are as follows. A negotiable instrument can be transferred by delivery or by endorsement and delivery, depending on whether it is payable to the bearer or order. The holder of negotiable instrument can sue in his own name and can recover the amount of the instrument from the party liable to pay thereon, as there is a right of action attached to the instrument itself. A negotiable instrument confers an absolute and valid title on the transferee who takes it in good faith for value and without notice of the defect in the title of the transferor. Bills of exchange. The main elements of bills of exchange are as follows. A bill of exchange is used in business and trade involving the seller and buyer of goods or services sold on credit terms. It has three parties: drawer, which is the seller; drawee, which is the buyer; and payee, which is the beneficiary. Instead of paying cash, the buyer undertakes to pay to the payee or to his order a specified sum on demand. The drawee of a bill is not liable until he accepts the bill, indicating there his assent to the drawer's order to pay. The date of payment must be certain or ascertainable. Demand bill is payable on demand or immediately on presentment. Like a bill of exchange, a check also has three parties. The drawer is the account holder signing the check, the drawee is always the bank, and the payee is the beneficiary who will receive the amount mentioned in the check. Here are the features of a check: in written format, form of check, drawer signature, date of check, amount on check. All the common features of negotiable instruments are: instrument has to be in writing. The instrument must contain an unconditional promise or undertaking. The promise must relate to paying a certain sum of money and not anything else. The payee must be a certain person, either singly or jointly. The instrument must bear the signature of the drawer or promisor. Other negotiable instruments include banker's drafts, traveler's checks, dividend or interest warrants. Let's take a look at each of these in detail. Banker's drafts. A banker's draft is a payment order issued by one branch of a bank upon the other branch, instructing the drawee branch to pay the specified sum of money to the specified person or to his or her order. Traveler's checks. Some banks issue traveler's checks on commission basis to enable the purchasers a safe substitute to cash while they are traveling, thus are mitigating the risk of loss. Traveler's checks are in the form of pay order drawn by the issuing bank or the organization on itself. Dividend or interest warrants. A dividend or interest warrant is used for payment of a dividend or an interest by a company or organization to a person holding shares or bond through a bank. Here's a question for you. While issuing a check, which of the following party is always the bank? Draw. Moving on to our next objective, loans and advances. Importance of lending. Lending is also a very important function of a bank. Funds mobilized from deposits are deployed by banks in making loans and advances to various businesses, trade and commerce. The main purpose of loans and advances is to earn profit by the way of interest spread, that is, the differential between the average interest rates receivable on loans and payable on deposits. Importance of lending. Let us now understand the importance of lending from the following perspective: for the bank, for the development of the economy, for the society. For the bank, loans or advances constitute a major chunk of a bank's assets. These also yield returns by way of interest income, which contributes the largest percentage of a bank's profits. Bank levies interest at period intervals on the funds lent to the borrowers, and the total interest collected during a financial year constitutes a major portion of its gross interest income. For the development of the economy, by lending the depositors money to the borrowers, banks help the latter in setting up and expanding businesses and trade in the country, thereby contributing to its economic development. Without bank loans, the country's industry, trade and commerce will languish and tend to stagnate or grow very slowly. For the society, banks' lending function helps the society indirectly through employment and income generation, which increases as the economy develops. Banks, as responsive corporate citizens, plow back a portion of their profits in community welfare activities. The principles of lending are safety and security principle, risk diversification principle, profitability principle, liquidity principle, loan purpose principle. Fund-based credit facilities. These involve outlay of funds for working capital requirements by way of cash credit, overdraft, demand loan, bill discount or purchase. Capital expenditure or project requirements by way of term loan, project finance, deferred payment guarantee. Non-fund-based credit facilities. These do not involve outlay of funds and are fee-based. These include letters of credit, bank guarantee. Classification of assets. Assets of a bank can be classified into two categories. They are: number 1, performing assets; number 2, non-performing assets. Let's understand both of these in detail. Number 1, performing assets. These are represented by borrowable accounts, which are regular in repayment of stipulated installments and interest, or in order, and the bank is able to realize interest thereon as and when it becomes due. Simply put, these are healthy accounts conducted by the borrower as per the sanctioned terms and yield regular interest income to the bank. Number 2, non-performing assets. If a borrowal account remains irregular or out of order during a period prescribed by the regulatory authority, it is classified as non-performing asset. These assets can be classified into 3 subgroups. They are substandard asset, doubtful asset, and loss asset. Next objective in the course is fee-based banking services. Unlike fund-based services, fee-based services do not require any outlay of funds by the banks, nor do these involve any risk on the part of banks. In fee-based services, banks essentially utilize customer funds by acting as per their instructions or by using their own expertise and infrastructure, branch network, correspondent relations with other banks, skilled human resources, public faith and trust, etc. Categories of fee-based banking services. The bank's ancillary services are classified into 4 categories: funds remittance or transfer by demand drafts, mail, telegraphic, electronic transfer, collection of checks or bills of exchange, other instruments, letters of credit and guarantees in favor of third parties as per the customer's requirements, agency services, correspondent banks services, government business, sale of products of mutual funds, insurance companies, securities, etc., safe custody of valuables and maintaining safe deposit lockers. Letters of credits and guarantees are quasi-credit facilities and form an integral part of the core lending functions of banks. Kinds of letter of credit. The following are the various kinds of LOC. Revocable LOC, revolving LOC, irrevocable LOC. Kinds of guarantees. The following are the various kinds of guarantees. Financial guarantees, performance guarantees, deferred payment guarantee. Let's move on to our next objective in this course, electronic banking. What is electronic banking? Electronic banking means banking done through electronic systems for customers' transactions and/or internal accounting and bookkeeping instead of using the traditional manual system of banking. Customer service has enhanced considerably in the following ways. Introducing new banking channels such as ATMs, internet banking, and telebanking, enhancing customer convenience through initiatives such as anywhere and anytime banking, making routine banking transactions speedier, safe, and secure, achieving integrated banking service through interconnectivity of branches. Automated teller machines or ATMs. An ATM is a cash rending teller machine. This helps a bank customer to withdraw money from his account without having to go to the bank. An ATM is a user-friendly, computer-driven system which operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A totally menu-driven system which operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Advantages of ATMs. Round-the-clock banking for 365 days a year, quick and efficient service. Response is uniform and fixed for all customers as per the program set. Mobile banking. Mobile banking tries to reach the customer to enable him or her to transact banking. This can be done in two different ways. Banking through a mobile van, a mobile bank, with or without computerized banking system, an ATM on ship or an airliner. Here are the benefits of mobile banking. Lower capital investment as compared to a brick and mortar bank and larger area coverage. It is a novel concept with the banker visiting the customers for banking. It serves as a tool for marketing on special events. Telebanking. Telebanking requires authorized customers to use a special telephone number of the bank. Telebanking can be done from anywhere at any time. There are two kinds of telebanking. They are public inquiry, private inquiry. Let's look at each of these in detail. Public inquiry. General information about banking services or facilities can be obtained by customers and non-customers alike by dialing a special inquiry number of the bank call center, and the desired information can be obtained after reaching the concerned extension number or desk. Private inquiry. This relates to account-specific information and can be accessed only by the account holder by disclosing his or her secret personal identification number, PIN, and customer ID. Internet banking. Internet banking means online banking from home or anywhere. It provides anywhere, anytime banking access to one's account as well as to the public information updated by the bank on its website. Our next objective is marketing of bank products. Marketing in financial sector. Marketing, in the true sense of the word, is relatively new to the financial sector. Marketing has developed as a more integrated function within financial service organizations, largely as a result of rapid changes in the operating environment. Marketing remains a relatively recent management function in the financial services sector. Marketing agencies. One of the recent strategies of marketing is through the agency channel known as Direct Marketing Agency, DMA, or Direct Selling Agency, DSA. These agencies carry out function on behalf of the banks and should therefore scrupulously follow product details. The officials or employees of these agencies should be well trained on products and should have a deep understanding of the bank and its functions. Marketing mix. Marketing mix is one of the key concepts in the modern marketing theory. Concept of marketing mix was given due recognition in the field of marketing theory. It is a set of marketing tools that the firm uses to pursue its marketing objectives in the target market. Marketing tools 4 Ps. It may be noted that the 4 Ps represent the seller's view of the marketing tools available for influencing the buyers. From a buyer's point of view, each marketing tool is designed to deliver a customer benefit. The 4 Ps correspond to the customer's 4 Cs. They are product, place, price, promotion. Marketing tools. 4. It may be noted that the 4 Ps represent the seller's view of the marketing tools available for influencing the buyers. From a buyer's point of view, each marketing tool is designed to deliver a customer benefit. The 4 Ps correspond to the customer's 4 Cs, and the 4 Cs are consumer, convenience, cost, communication. And now let's move on to the last objective of this course, know your customer, KYC. For KYC policies, a customer is defined as a person or an entity that maintains an account with the bank, one on whose behalf the account is maintained, beneficiaries of transactions conducted by professional intermediaries like stockbrokers, solicitors, etc., as permitted under law, any person or entity connected with a financial transaction which can pose significant reputation or other risks to the bank. Here are the guidelines on KYC. The government and the central bank expects all banks to have comprehensive KYC policies. These policies should be on key areas mentioned below: customer acceptance policy, customer identification process, monitoring of customer transactions, risk management. Transaction profile. Compilation of a customer's transaction profile is important as it is critical to the identification of fraudulent or suspicious transactions. A transaction profile is a matrix of different components like source of funds, level of income, volume and frequency of transactions, origin and destination of funds, etc. Let us now practice all that you have learned about managing a sales team with success. Visit the bank which is near your home or office and you're required to do the following. Find out the interest rate for personal account which the bank pays. Find out the interest charged by the bank for personal loan and housing loans. Analyze the difference between the interest rates paid by the bank for term deposits, demand deposits, and recurring deposits. George has recently joined as the branch head of Global Commercial Bank. His bank has introduced new financial products and there are more fraudulent transactions happening in that branch. How should George market the new financial products to its customers? What steps should George take to put an end to all the fraudulent transactions? Here's a summary. Functions of a bank can be classified as traditional functions and modern functions. Merchant banking involves disintermediation as it helps savers to invest directly in the shares of the companies instead of depositing their savings with the banks. CRR, SLR, bank rate, OMO, SCC are considered as tools of monetary control. A customer is a person who has some sort of account, either deposit or current account or some similar relation with the bank, and from this it follows that any person may become a customer by opening a deposit or a current account or having some similar relation with the bank. The duties of a bank can be categorized into two categories: duty of secrecy and duty of reasonable care. Any person who is competent to contract can open a deposit account with a bank branch of his or her choice and convenience. Hybrid deposits or flexi deposits, which combine features of demand and term deposits. Bill of exchange is used in business and trade involving the seller and buyer of goods or services sold on credit terms. Funds mobilized from deposits are deployed by banks in making loans and advances to various businesses, trade and commerce. Letters of credits and guarantees are quasi-credit facilities and form an integral part of the core lending functions of the banks. Telebanking requires authorized customers to use a special telephone number of the bank. Telebanking can be done from anywhere at any time. Compilation of a customer's transaction profile is important as it is critical to the identification of fraudulent or suspicious transactions. Here's a glossary. B. B stands for bank. The word bank means an organization where people and businesses can invest or borrow money, change into foreign currency, etc. M. M stands for merchant banking, which refers to dealing with the securities on fee basis without outlay of funds to the clients. It also means modern banking, which is about providing an array of services to customers under one roof so as to enable banking with convenience. D stands for demand deposits that are repayable on customers' demand. These comprise the following: current account deposits, savings banks deposits, call deposits. D also stands for dividend warrants. A dividend or interest warrant is used for payment of a dividend or interest by a company or an organization to a person holding shares or bonds through a bank. A. A stands for assets of a bank. Assets of a bank can be classified into two categories. They are performing assets, non-performing assets. E stands for electronic banking, which means banking is done through electronic systems for customer transactions and or internal accounting and bookkeeping instead of using the traditional manual system of banking. Congratulations! You have successfully completed the course on basic.
فهنقسم على ده 25 ده 25 او ده 20 يعني 120 او 25 زياده. ماشي انا هديك
طيب احنا كده خلصنا اول فيديو هنكون بنتفرج عليه سوا. خليني برضو افهمكم اكتر اليوم هيكون بيمشي ازاي. احنا وسط الفيديوز هيكون عندنا بريكس، انا هطلع قبليها اقول لكم ان دلوقتي بريك وهقول لكم امتى تكونوا بترجعوا، ويومنا بيخلص في رينج من الساعه 2 للساعه 3. دلوقتي معانا اول بريك هيكون نص ساعه، فترجعوا ان شاء الله على الساعه 10:50. ثانك يو.
في مواد زي الدراسات والعلوم مش لازم لها ملخص في كتاب المدرس. ما يجيبش الدراسات والعلوم. انت هتاخد كتاب مدرس. انا ما كنتش في مدارس، انا عمري ما اشتريت ولا كتاب ولا علوم ولا دراسة. لازم كتاب مدرس. اصل هو كان بيدرس العلوم والدراسات زي ما هم. حساب وعربي وانجليزي. العلوم والدراسات هم كتاب المدرسة هم. طب ايه بقى تعملونا هذا العربي والحساب والانجليزي؟ عمل انجليزي ممكن تاخدوه بكره. والله النهارده انا ما اعرفش اقرا اصلا، يعني ابوظ الدنيا. اخويا الكبير انا اصلا ما اعرفش اقرا. طب ماشي احسبها كام طيب؟ سيبي عادي مش مهم. عادي سيبي 200 اللي انت عايزاه. ورقم تليفوني. في جنب بنسأل جاب واحد كيس اسمه لنا فاكر امبارح عايز يعرف شكله اسمه حتى ماشي. هات لي ورقة عشان اكتب فيها اسماء المخصصات اللي عندي. انجليزي ولا ايوه سلاح التلميذ صح؟ سلاح التلميذ. ايوه وسنة تانية عربي بحساب بس من غير انجليزي برضه. ماشي اوكي. مين معلش فاكر؟ 像你的没吃到老麻的。没事。嗯？没事儿对。لا لا ما فيهاش حد يخش جوه لو حد دخل ويسيب التليفون زي ما هو ما يلبسش التليفون. ماشي هو يقول المفروض يقول لك انا في النص انا اقول له برضه
الجهالة تتولاها هي. خلاص تمام ماشي. ماشي تمام. أنا دخلت مشوار على الإدارة البيت وما شغلش هنا تشتري.
عشان الجهاز ما يتكسرش.
الصبح ده
نفس الكمبيوتر زي كده كل سنة بيجددوها أو بس هو رقم مش واحد سنة.
هم بجد من الوقت برضه أيوة عشان بيعرفوا كل ما بيسكنوا.
في هي غلطات بالظبط.
بيقولوا يكون هم غلط.
الكل غلط في الجروب يا سلام. الكل غلط ما بيعملش الكمبيوتر. أقول معاك هي هتفضل.
في ناس هو جربها وعملتها
معاك هي.
طب
ما هو المكتب يخدمك.
ايوه اتفضل معاك يا استاذ.
معاك هي يا استاذ كمال. الو انا في القمه يا استاذ كمال. لو انت عارف اللي هي مقابل مدرسه الدوره اللي هياخد بالك النار دفع المنفذ. مفيش مشاكل في انتظارك انا. اديني غنى طالع بره.
بس انا بقول يعني موقع المجال
مفيش مشاكل لو تختار حضرتك تختار على طب الورق اللي كانت تستعمل كده خلصت والفيزا دول اروح اسدد بيهم في
لا احتضان منك في المدرسه.
المدرسه اصور المفروض تصور اكتر من صوره
طبعا بالتاريخ والساعه معلش والله.
يطلع لك فلوس في البوسطه
ايوه ماشي ودي هتضمنك في المدرسه.
الاصل الاداره صح؟ يبقى انا اصورها اكتر من صوره دي صح؟
شوفوا ما يحتاجوها صوره واحده.
مش التنفيذ في حاجه ثانيه.
خلاص ماشي هبعتها لك على الواتس دلوقتي بس انت حلقت شعرك صح؟ ماشي ماشي هبعت لك الصورة على الواتس. صوريها ايه معلش يا ممكن عادية مثلا ابعتيها لي على الواتس انا ليا 9 صور في ورقة.
يعني سووا الملحق بس المهم هي دي الامتحان. الملحق كيف سووا الملحق؟ كيف سووا الملحق؟
ايوه اصور معاه عشان انا بقول لك مين اللي كتب البيان عشان معاه ملحق بيبقى فيها صور الملحق.
يعني بالكتاب نفسه؟
زي كده مثلا مثلا لوحديها ده ليه كتاب تمام؟ كتاب تاني ملحق بس ماشي؟
يعني كده تدي هو
تمام.
كمان هو
لو الملحق في ظهر الكتاب هيبقى موجود في ظهر الكتاب، الملحق لوحديه هيبقى لوحديه بس ماشي؟
كده لو
عشان ايه؟ عشان الناس بسعر 500 شويه، بس انا قلت لك ان العربي والحساب والانجليزي خلينا في العربي والحساب دلوقتي ليهم ملاحق. الحساب ماليش ملحق، مش سعره زي ما هو. العربي ليه ملحق، فهيبقى اغلى شويه، مش هيبقى ب 100، هيبقى اغلى شويه، اشوفه كان يبقى زياده 20 او 10. زي بعض انت، زي بعض انت، زي بعض انت. احنا اتفقنا لما كنت قاعد هنا قلت لك العربي، لا لما كنا قاعدين هنا قلت لك العربي هيبقى زياده. طب انا قلت لك يعني 20 جنيه مش هو العربي هيبقى زياده، انا قلت لك كده في الأول. ان شاء الله ربنا يسهل ان شاء الله.
طب ولو قلت لك على الانجليزي تاني 2 وعلوم ودراسات كده 400.
ايوه.
طب
بس
لو
ممكن يكون علوم الدراسات مش لازم، بس راحة البر.
انا بدور ابنك ايه سهل ونتعب
خلاص ممكن ان شاء الله.
ينفع يعني انا عارفه اقول علوم لو عندك ورقه
خذوا ده. زي
كل مثلا اخذ الكتب معك عشان ما نفعش ثواني انت عارف موضوع فقط عشان تعرفوا مرة ولا خلي السنة حافظ ليه
سبيل الهدف ولا مكتوب؟ لو خلص قلنا عليه، اخليه يشتغل فيه مرة. والله انا فاكر واحد طلع في مصر اقسم بالله ميتيني كده ولا كده يخرب بيت الزمن بتاعي، اقسم بالله فضلت ساعة ونص بره عشان تاخد مني كتاب الخط 20 جنيه.
احنا ماشيين
طلع في الاخر لما كنت ماشي انت ومالي.
بس ده ايوه ما كان باين عليه لازمه
والله
بنحسها والله بنحسها ان هي يعني هتتعب
والله يا مرة فضلت ساعة ونص في المكتبة.
بنحسها انها رفاقة